want, for instance, to consider them like a state attack.
Yeah.
This is like private individuals trying to put the information like in kind of freedom framework.
Mhm.
So how do you explain that in terms of the new realist approach? Because it's like there are not states, there are like individuals or organizations just trying I
Yeah.
don't know, to hurt the international security system, but it's like a private individuals,
Mhm.
no states.
Well, I mean, I think structuralism is it's a very limited theory, but at the same time, we're looking at the state. These are private actors, but they target security, the survival of the state, and therefore should be studied. It's relevant in that respect. Of course, they're private actors. Um,
Do you think they
yeah.
are not committing the same mistake, like in the case of, it's like a kind of analogy. I mean, the United States was attacked by a terrorist group, Al Qaeda, in 2001, and they invaded Afghanistan and Iraq.
Mhm.
And now it's like they are suffering. Most of the attacks come from private individuals. As one public, all the information from security uh, agencies in the United States or Anonymous did the same. They did it also in Latin America, but they are trying to respond like targeting states instead of targeting private individuals. Like for me, it seems like the kind of same mistake that they committed in the field of regular capabilities, war.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, if there's a military strike, then that'd be committing the same like sin. In the end, I mean, Osama bin Laden was killed by a strike team, little strike team. So I don't know what they're gonna do with this, but actually, it's reflected in my own area of interest, in my own area of research, and we're gonna get to that. How to deal with cyber, how to respond in an appropriate way. Um, but we have a few more things to go through. So. Yeah, so cybersecurity, to elaborate, um, it's very important because it threatens the survival of states in a realm of anarchy, um, and it's directly linked to a state's distribution of capabilities. So it's something worth to be studied. Um, in this respect, I believe that cybersecurity is important in three aspects. One, there are jobs to be had, there are jobs to be made. I'm going to make another point on that. It's academically relevant because it is a new way in which state survival can be compromised, and it's a national security problem. So there's three reasons why cyber warfare should be studied. Yes. So, like we said, we talked about how to respond. So the first, the first one is that we have a kill switch by the executive that will anger the hacktivists. How the FBI shuts down uh, computers uh, that are that is within their border and without their border, and you have military strikes. So that's how to respond. Other people have other opinions. There's a great article in Foreign Affairs, Clark and Levin, Securing the Information Highway 2009. They discuss how best to enhance electronic defenses against cyber attacks by the state and non-state actors. Cyber attacks are hard to trace. I mean, they've been tracing them, but it is still difficult to trace. They're cheap. They make and they make nations very vulnerable. There's a way to deal with that. You have risk management. You develop strategies that address everything from communication security, networks, the chips inside the computers. Is a thing on YouTube. A great that if you go on YouTube and you type in cyber attacks, cyber warfare, you're gonna get a lot of great results. One of them was a documentary on how Chinese chips within hardware have uh, like software that monitors where you go, what you do, and the United States government has been outsourcing their computers from China, so they have the defense computers have these surveillance chips inside their computers. So one way is to not do that, right? Uh, the next one would be having a backup system, a communication system, instead of having one. Right now, the United States has one. Instead of doing that, you have two. That would make sure if one fails for whatever reason, you have a second one to back it up, which is, I think, smart. Then you have, so basically, you take care of outside hardware systems and don't have imported stuff and make sure you have backups. Um, so that is something that I think we should be very serious. We ended at 12, right? Okay, we still have lots of time. Okay. There's a few more things to go through. How does this link back to the Obama doctrine? The Obama doctrine can be defined as a new form of high-tech, low-budget, and politically astute intervention, one that maximizes America's influence by minimizing costs, especially for a cash-strapped government. The debt is too much. So, cyber warfare is cheap, and you can achieve all your goals in a quick way. For example, with Iran, you know have some viruses in there. You destabilize their systems, and that's the end of that. You delay their bomb. I mean, if that's what they want, but if you delay their bomb for quite a while, and if they when they get their stuff running again, you just do it again. So that in tandem of killing all the nuclear scientists, not bad, right? That's the benefit of cyber warfare. I mean, it's not, I see your eyes are not too happy about that. But that's this is the world that we live in. It's anarchy, right? I mean, this is something that I'm talking about lightly, but this is what the United States government is talking about now. Okay? So these are the benefits of cyber attacks. That compared with, um, let's say, let's say we're treating it as a given that the United States wants and Israel wants to not deal with Iranian nuclear weapons. What options do you have? You have a planned strike. You have military presence in the Gulf. You're gonna have to deal with Iran closing down the Straits of Hormuz as 20% of your oil supply going down the drain. You have Iranian missile reprisals. You have war effectively. So what are you gonna do if you don't want them to have a bomb? Or you can let them have a bomb and then deal with that. So I mean, like it's not of course it's not a black and white world. I'm simplifying this for you. I'm just giving you what the Americans and how the American Department of Defense, what they're thinking about right now. Okay? Don't hassle me when I'm outside. Um, so cyber attacks are cost effective. My research so far uh, deals with what's called cyber deterrence. That's a term that I'm trying to trying to develop. Cyber deterrence borrows from mutually assured destruction back in the Cold War. You know, if both of us have bombs, then we won't attack each other because if you attack me, I'm going to send all my stuff to you, right? So you don't touch me, I don't touch you. It's based on French force de frappe, counter value, to inflict on an enemy more damage than it can enforce on you. The enemy having more to lose will cease. Mutually assured destruction, final warning, nuclear attacks that serve to communicate more to come. So, how does this relate at all to cybersecurity? It boils down to offense-defense theory. This is a theory forwarded by many structural realists that weapons and strategies that make defense and deterrence easier and cheaper, and offense more expensive and difficult, will decrease the likelihood of war. So, if it is likely that a cyber attack launched by me to Sebastian will cause it to be more expensive, then I will not hack into Sebastian's systems. Makes sense, right? That way we have some kind of stability, which of course, as academics, we have to be very aware of the security of our world, developing this idea of peace. This is what international relations is all about, trying to figure out how best to have peace. That's how it was born in 1939 with Carr's, what's Carr's book again? 20 Years War. 20 Years Crisis. Kind of forgot that. So this is what peace is all about. and that's what my research centers on. So, cyber deterrence. You make the cost of attack less, I mean more expensive, so no one will attack you. That way, Iran won't attack you, you won't attack Iran, China won't attack you, you won't attack China. So how do you do this? You know the concept of a firewall, right? You block out everyone from the outside. Well, my idea would have a virus wall. So if you decided to go into my system, you get a virus, and that virus will destroy your computer system. So that way you have deterrence. That's about it. That's in its simplest form. And I'm going to try right now at this last juncture. I think we have about 20 minutes. Uh, how does this fit into other aspects of security, like this class about security? Um, the broader notion of security. Now we have cyber security, not just nation state, not just borders, because in the end, borders don't matter when it comes to cybersecurity. But borders will matter in cybersecurity when it comes to this concern. So we have if what is effectively the internet as a new battleground. Okay. Also, I've been thinking about this for a while. Where would cybersecurity fit in here? Would it fit here or would it fit here? I don't know. Maybe it fits both areas. So when it comes to the Copenhagen School. So it's very interesting, this topic. Um, it's something that we need to focus on in the next coming um, years. My dissertation so far, my idea is a modification of structural realism to take into consideration a country's distribution of capabilities as a intervening variable, but I may change it.
Say that one more time. What was the intervening variable?
The intervening variable will be the state's internal capacity. Sorry, power capacity. So we're talking about great powers, middle powers, and small powers. Middle powers don't behave like big powers, and small powers, of course, don't behave like big powers. So the units of the state, their own distribution of capabilities is very important. So structural realism must be modified. I'm willing to give that up to do this, because in the end, jobs are at stake. Like I can get a job after this. It's academically relevant and it's a national security issue. So, any questions? I um, I can take questions on cybersecurity, the comp, security as a whole, foreign policy as a whole. I've done the comp. So,
That would be fair.
thank you for listening. Okay. Any questions?
Sorry for missing the first part of the presentation, but great, thank you. I'm curious. I'm thinking about. So I hear what you're saying about cyber attacks, uh, kind of as a way to say, hack intelligence, or shut down a power grid, or shut down disrupt nuclear facility and so forth. But I'm thinking about Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
And I see that, and every so often there's, it's been a while since the first kind of big tranche of intelligence kind of was dumped out there. And then there was just a new one recently about Syria, hundreds of thousands of documents in Syria. And I feel like we're getting into this period where, yes, there's cyber attacks, but there's also this thing where secret intelligence is kind of not so secret anymore. Just like we didn't have the 24-hour news cycle, before, or international cable news networks, and states with the advent of that, states kind of lost a grip a bit on some things and had to readjust and had to change their policies. Like Somalia, U.S. presence there. Without CNN, I mean, it would have been a different story. No one would ever have known that U.S. soldiers died. It would have been a different story. So now we have this situation where secret intelligence isn't so secret anymore, or we can't count on it to be so secret. So are we entering, is that really a new phase, or is really the WikiLeaks thing some anomaly?
No, it's definitely not an anomaly. This is something new, completely new, where a private actor can just dump all sorts of secrets from every country. Yes, it's juicy, but